大家好，我是 RoanLS. Hello there, it's been a long time. Been like a month or so or two, I don't know whenever you're watching this, but it's been like there's like a long time between the previous episode and this one. But anyways, I hope everybody's doing well, especially with the pandemic thing that's going around us. I hope you stay inside of your house, avoid doing unnecessary things. If you really wanted to go outside, I believe the system in my place is like only one person per family has to go outside, and we have a schedule for that. So if you really don't need anything, better stay inside your house, especially for us. As long as you have your internet, just stay inside, play your games, watch anime, cause trial, like just to elevate your boredom. For those who are working, still working from the office like me, yes, so that is why I have a different background. I'm currently working at the office, so I hope everybody's trying to cope well with this situation. After this, hopefully, we've learned something. We've learned new skills staying inside the house. We've bonded with the people inside, and you would now know who cares and who does not. So, but let's not talk about that thing. So I just hope everybody's well. I hope in your place, uh, it's organized. I hope everyone's organized. Anyways, now this episode, I've been trying what to talk about. I cannot talk about makeup because I was planning on asking someone to do it, but because of the quarantine, they cannot go outside, they cannot travel coming to my place. So I just wanted to talk about wig care. But before that, of course, before you know how to style a wig, you have to acquire one, you have to buy one. The problem for the others, especially for beginners, if you started out of the blue with no friends with you and you don't know where to get it. If you are from the Philippines, we have what we call MCS. It's a page wherein you can post if you're looking for something. You have to tell when do you need it, and then people who have second-hand wig and who owns a shop that would help you get one, you can transact with them. Now, what if somebody was offering a wig, but you're not sure? You don't want to get scammed because that is money and we just don't get money elsewhere. We have to earn for that. Uh, if you're doubting about this person, we also have another one. Aside from the WCS, MCS, cosplay market. Okay, that's the cosplay market. We have another one. We have cosplay market or MCS legitimacy check, wherein you can post the name of the seller and what is that transaction and ask people to check if they had an interaction with that cosplayer or if they know that person so that they can help you out. Because also here you can check who not to transact with, especially with crafters, for scammers, for online shops, and which shops had previous problems. You can check on that. So there. So aside from wigs, well, if you're from the Philippines, I would recommend Ren. Uh, she has this online shop, if I'm not mistaken, cheap finds. So far, they are the one who gives the cheapest price. It's not no, unlike for the others. So you can, if you have friends who have their online shop, you can support them through that. But if you don't know anyone yet, I would recommend Ren. It's just that sometimes there's a possible delay because of customs, but so far I've only experienced it once, and I was not really in a rush, so it was fine with me. And I bought a bulk of wigs, that is why it's kind of delayed. Now, if you are planning on buying in bulk, list down the characters. You can ask them, you can canvas from shop to shop, like how much would do they offer this. If you're looking or if you wanted to have one in a rush, expect that would be a little bit more expensive because there would be a rush fee. We have the air freight and the sea freight. Most of the time, for shops, you have to give them at least a month because they would be getting that from China, from Taobao. So they have time to talk with their agent, the shipping fee to the agent's place. They have to pack that all in a box, and it has now sea freight. It would now travel coming to our place. But if you wanted that really, really, really rush, they're going to have it air fried, and most of the time it's just only you, so you have to shoulder the shipping fee. So there. As for wigs, there are three types. We have the lace front, like this one. This one, what I'm actually wearing is lace front. I cut it here already. No, it would look like it's your natural hair because you don't usually find. Now here, I have another one here. If it's up until here, no bangs or anything, I would recommend a lace front. But if your wig has a bangs that would cover the line here, you can just go with the ordinary one. So that is lace front. Another one is the net type. I wouldn't recommend this, especially for new cosplayers. It's cheaper than the lace. No, the other one is the lace lace type, not the lace front type, but we have the lace one. This is how it looks like for the lace. As for net, expect that you know what they use for in the kitchen, in the restaurants wherein they have to cover their hair. That kind of net, that is the one that they use for net type wigs. Why am I not recommending this? I had my first wig and it was net type. Expect that it's not that thick. Even if it's thick, after a long time, the strands would fall out. So it wouldn't really last that long. And there's this uncomfortable feeling that you would feel like it's very thin, like you might see your natural hair, especially if you're not wearing a black wig, like you're using blonde, and then it's very thin that you might see the black ones, the the black strands, your real hair. So I really wouldn't recommend that. And when you try to fix it, you try to comb it, the fallout, it's abnormally a lot. Now, if you're combing lace front, lace type wigs, and there are fallouts, like few of them, that's normal. But for net types, it's a lot, really a lot. So I really wouldn't recommend it. Now, your wigs, sometimes I just don't use them once, especially for blonde hair. Blonde hair. Now, there are different characters who have the same color, except for the style, the hairstyle. So you can just like play around with it. So why is that I'm net types quite cheap? Well, for lace, they're affordable. But if you're a student, you can just like earn for it, save your money, save your allowances, try not to buy at Starbucks maybe just for a month, or like at those milk tea shops, because this is an investment. If you are planning on keeping this as a hobby, it's nice to invest in wigs because you might have a character in the future, or like previous characters that you want to cosplay now that you've started. Just keep them. If you do not know how to style, go to MCS. You can ask somebody, they commission. Why am I recommending it? If you do not know, do not try. Especially if it's your first time, you're gonna ruin it. So ask someone, if you have a friend, to give you the nose and house, so at least they could help you out. That is what I did. I really don't commission other people to fix the wig for me, but before I start mingling with it, I have to ask friends who knows what to do, so they could give me some opinions or some techniques that would help me. Plus, when I started cosplaying, I didn't start with the so complicated hairstyle. I wouldn't go that, I wasn't really that confident. So I started with the basic ones. So that's with wig. You can order that, but I would really recommend Ren from Cheap Finds. It's really really cheap. And if you wanted to earn, especially it's quarantine period, and if you're working from home and you cannot spend your money, there's no, they cannot ship. We don't have like a working courier right now. So what you can do, you can list down the characters, the future characters that you would want to cosplay, list down their wigs. You can canvas, ask the shop how much they are, and then you can total it out and you can save. What I do is I buy them in bulk because I want to cosplay this character, and if I already have the wig, I would have no choice but really have to cosplay it because I don't want to waste the money that when I bought it. So there. So what are the things that you need if you're starting out with your wigs? You seriously need this. Ouch! That was painful. Okay. You would seriously need a head mannequin. You can start with the simple ones, but if you want to style, it's an investment. It's just 250. I just bought this for 250. So I just recently discovered. Now, usually what I do is like I put on my wig and then I get the clip here. But then where's that? I didn't know that I could actually pin the wig to keep it still. No, expect that if you're just going to put the wig on top of it, let me put that there. Okay, some they would fit, but I would know it might be moving around, especially if you're styling it. You'll be playing around with blower, with comb. It would naturally move around. So how would you keep it still? Now you can have pins, especially this kind of mannequin. It's rubber, but inside of it, it's foam. Now here you can just like pin that like that. It would hold it still, and it's easier for you to imagine. Okay, for you to really see and believe that. Okay, I have a pin here. You can just like put it there. You would feel that there's a foam as you're pushing it down. So try to have this as your investment. I usually bring this with me when I go to cons, or I bring the my long neck ones. Why do I bring those? Because most recently what I've been using are long wigs, and it's easier for me to style long wigs if I have that. But I also use this at home, but just usually I just put my wigs there. So there. So what if you have a wig? How do you put on wigs? First, you have to put a hairnet. Now, the hairnet would now keep your hair still, especially if you have a long hair, you have to keep it still. So what you have to do first, of course, I'm not gonna remove my wig. You get the hairnet, just put it all down up until here. Now, the thicker garter, the stronger one should be here. Now, everything should be there, and then slowly you pull it up and then there. That's how you put a wigs, hairnets, I'm sorry. So sometimes other cosplayers would use two hairnets. Why? Just to keep it safe. Now, if you have like thick hair, it's better to safety it with hairpins. So it would not be moving around. Because at one point, I was really confident that it's not gonna move around. But then, since you walk with your friends, you mingle with other people, it's a whole day event, even with photo shoots, there are tendencies wherein the hairnet, it goes backward. Okay? It's like, it's gonna all push there. That is why you need to safety it with hairpins. How do you put on wigs? Spe Here. Okay, if you're putting on, if you've noticed, we have two straps. We have two straps here, and there are some there, if you can see that. What you can do, it's adjustable. You have that. If you have a like small head, you can as for me, I put it up until and like two of them, so they have to meet in the middle. So here you have to put it there. Now, some people actually, okay, for the beginners, honestly, I did the same mistake. It was just pointed out to me. I do this, like, I let them meet together, and that's just how is it. But then somebody told me that the reason why we have it here so that you can actually safety them. So we have that. And you also do the same thing on the other one. Now, you have to feel it. Now, putting it on too tight because you want it to be secured is not safe. You're going to wear that for hours, and if it's too tight, it's gonna cost you migraine, headache, because it's gonna pull up until here. So try to make sure even before you go out of the house, practice it. Like try to feel which one. Like we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I have eight. So you have try to adjust which one is the most comfortable, and then try to remember that because you would be using that every time. Well, that depends on wig. Wig brands. My favorite wig brand so far, Bluebeard, especially with my Jacurai and Karna. It's and the Rutil, they feel like they've already been pre-styled. Now, even for my Karna, they have the natural fly away that if I want to emphasize it, I just need hairspray to do that. Now, those are character specific wigs. So, and okay, note one of my friend has a bigger head than mine because my mine is smaller than the average head. What she told me is that Bluebeard has a large cup size. So if you have a big head, she recommends Bluebeard. Unlike for some wigs that what they use as a standards of like the standard small head. So if you have a big one, when you put it on your head, you feel like it's too small or it's too tight. So if you're that kind of person, I would recommend Bluebeard for you. It's a little bit pricey, but not that pricey. Do not expect. I'm not. When I say pricey, it's not the 1K kind of wigs, but it's around 600, 800, 900, depends on the length and the style of the wig. Takuya. Yeah, I like Takuya too. Uh, This one's Takuya. We also have, like, if I'm not mistaken, Misaki. Ruler. Well, before I would definitely say ruler, but at times it's really hit and miss. But they have good quality for wigs. Aside from that, we have Aoi. If I'm not mistaken, it's Aoi. The quality is also good. Mei Mei, we have that. For Chinese characters, we don't have specific brands, but Taobao brands, the average, the normal ones are good. You just have to ask your suppliers for some reviews because they can ask their agent which one would they recommend. And you would have to listen to their recommendations. Do not be scared of the price. As I said a while ago, it's an investment. If you're a student, try to save little by little. Do not rush on your cosplays, on your things, because you might want to do the character again and you'll be using the same wig. So having a good quality ones would help you in the long run. So here, how do you take care of wigs? For short ones, I after using it in a con, I would just soak them in Downy. Okay, soak them overnight, and then after that, blow it. It's gonna be fine. And at times, if you do not want to use Downy, what I use is the Head and Shoulders. Okay, Head and Shoulders, I just make sure it's lukewarm water, not the cold one. I prefer the lukewarm, especially if I used the hairspray. I rarely use wax, so everything's gonna be washed out. What if it's a long hair? Okay, this is going to cause you a problem with the tangles. So even before you go to cons, I recently discovered it. See, I'm learning a lot from my friends. As the lubricant. It's not the lubricant that you're thinking, but it's the lubricant that they use with motors, with mechanical things, so that how do we say that they when they rust they need it to because there's the friction and at times it becomes a little bit stiff, so to like it's an oil kind of thing that would loosen things up. So I would recommend VS1 protection. Why? It smells like lemon. I had my first lube, like the first lube that I've used, it smells bad that when, well, it has the effect, but when you put it on your hair, it's gonna give you a headache because the smells bad. But for hair, someone discovered, get the original one. I would really recommend. You can get it to cons. It smells like lemon. It does not smell like your typical car oil. So why do we need this? Long hairs, if it, like it's too, how do I describe that? It's like you're coating your hair with oil and they are less likely to get tangled. There might be tangles, but it's easier to detangle them. Now imagine your wig that is synthetic, that is plastic, and when they are all together, it's really hard because it's dry. But if they are coated with lubricant, it's easier. It's easier to comb. So how do you apply this? What we do is first you have to blower your hair, make sure that it's neat and nice, and then you you spray lubricant all over your hair, coat it, especially at the back and uh, like the back of your hair because it's really gonna tangle when you sit in the car going to the con. Also from the outside, you have to spray it all over. After that, you have to comb it, make sure that they are properly coated, but do not put too much. It's gonna shine. Just you can actually have a feeling of it. So not too much, not too little, because if you're going to put too little, it's gonna disappear in the long run. And after that, blower it again. You would now notice the difference. Try to do that with your wigs when you go to a con. And after after the con, you can go home. You would notice that there are few tangles. What you need is just to blower them. Okay, so that's what we do. We blower them, especially we do not put that and stock them for a long time because it's gonna give you problems. So blower that. You would notice you do not need to, how do we say that? You do not need to soak it again. For your wigs that are not stiff, you did not style it that stiff, you did not use much of a wax, I do not recommend for you to keep on soaking them with Fabcon, keep on soaking them with shampoo. I've noticed that it becomes brittle and it becomes a little bit dry for the hair strands. So try maybe like doing that once in a month or like for a long, if it's been there for a long time, you haven't used it, you can do that. But do not do it every con. You have this favorite character and you keep on using it, and every after con, that's what you do. No, you would notice in the long run it becomes brittle, it becomes dry. Well, it's not that shiny, but it's a little bit matte, but it's gonna get worse than that. Going to become drier. It's gonna lose its natural shine. There. As for wig, please avoid buying the shiny ones like the class A, the one that would cost 150, 250. You can get as low as 250 and 300 for second hands at MCS, Market Cosplay Shop, and it's worth it as long as you're talking with an honest uh, seller, because there are sometimes they would not tell you that there are defects. Others would be very honest. So you just have to ask them properly. Can I have like a picture of it? There. So that's about now for wigs. In case you have more questions that I was not able to tackle, try to comment them down. I would really love to hear and interact with people. If you have more advices, I would really love to hear that, since I'm not that good with, especially with wig styling. I know a lot of people who are better than me. They actually do that for a job, for wig commissions. It's fascinating, especially with the hard ones. If you cannot do it and you're not that confident, you can ask someone to commission it for you. Commission starts usually at, if you're in the Philippines, that is 200, 250 to 300. That depends on how complicated it is. Other would do two wigs. Like they combine, uh, there are characters who have really this thick hair. People would tease them to make them floppy to add more volume. But if you keep on teasing that, it's gonna, the hair is gonna suffer. So what other people would do is like they are going to combine two wigs so that it would look thicker and fuller. You can also do that. But if you want to learn wig styling, start from the basic. If you want to hairstyling with cutting, well, that's the time wherein you can buy your class A wigs. No, do not have a practice on the real ones. Okay, if you're planning, if you haven't cut a hair, it's your first time to cut hair, you can buy those, the class A ones. Start trimming, start practicing from them before you can actually murder a wig. Okay, there. So aside from that, MC, well, why am I? Well, MCS did not ask me to do this, but if you have a lot of needs, it would really help, like less scammers and everything. But you can just go straightly. Cause no, I always have a smooth transaction with Ren. That is why I recommend cheap finds. But well, you just have to take note the shipping fee, like from her place to your place. And if you have a local cosplay shop, like in your, especially in my city, we have a local cosplay shop. You can actually support them. The only reason why I'm getting from Ren is I buy bulks, and I can just ask her the character, how much would that be if I'm planning on getting it. I can save up for it, and she's very hospitable. She entertains my canvas and my questions. You have to tell her the budget, because there are different brands, and that you can also ask your seller to, can you give me more options? Because if you say that this is the character and they give you this price, they give you this one, this brand, you can ask for recommendations. Are there other brands that has this character's wig? For you to have more options. Now, anyways, everybody stay safe. That's it for now. I hope I can do this regularly. Sorry for not being there for a long time. Okay. Have a good day ahead, and I'll see you on my next video. Please comment down, subscribe, and click that bell.